Savannah Ringers of Richmond, BC. It's your chance to win big thanks to Save on Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If a kickoff's returned for a touchdown, you could win a $10,000 home theater package. If 2 kickoffs are returned all the way, well, you could be in store for $1 million. So good luck, Diana, as we head to kickoff at BMO Field and hear Rod Black and Henry Burris, guys.
All right, hello Canada, bright lights of Toronto. Something you get onto. Friday night football. It's the Ottawa REDBLACKS and the Toronto Argonauts, 2 teams that in a million years did not think at this stage of the season they would be spinning their wheels like this. It is a showdown of the lowdown, but we can call it the Play for Pride Bowl, and there's a lot of pride on the line.
100%. I talked to both of these teams beforehand, including Will Arndt, and you know what? He's super excited to get out to his first start. His story is magnificent of all he's been through to get to this moment. You talk about patience and perseverance. This young man, he's done it. And speaking of S.J. Green, one of the all-time greats, future Hall of Famer in my mind. Hey, 95 yards away. Well, of course, there shows 90 yards away from reaching 10,000 yards to join his former teammate Ben Cahoon and also Terry Vaughn as the guys who've eclipsed that mark. Only 17 receivers before him have pulled that off.
Corey Chamberlain and his Argos 2-12. The ship near rock bottom. A regime change this week. Jim Pop is out. Pinball Clemens is in, and Pinball will join us tonight. Rick Campbell, 3-11, and as Rod Smith and the guys in the studio. What are you missing those guys in the studio already?
Oh no, I like hanging out with you. I miss those guys as well.
But as they pointed out, just think how fame is fleeting. Only a couple of years ago, here were 2 teams that were back-to-back Grey Cup champions in 2016 and 2017. And now the Argos kick it off. Double blue against red, black. And it's Rafael Araujo Lopes. Picks his way up to the 32-yard line, and we've got some hostilities. And not only is tonight, with faint hopes still beating for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, they have to win out and hope that Edmonton loses out, so very faint. But this is a real opportunity for this young man.
This young man, he's focused in, he's dialed in, talking to Brad Sinopoli and a number of the guys. The work ethic that this kid brings to the table, he's been working with the receivers, working on that chemistry, that timing. Going against a man-to-man defense in Toronto's, it'll be super important.
Will Arndt, the 26-year-old out of Sandy Hook, Connecticut, throwing right away, incomplete right away to R.J. Harris.
And Brendan Galanders from the University of Ottawa getting his first start at running back tonight. They're bringing out the Canadian ground forces with Greg Morris backing him up. And also up front, Alex Mateus has been the anchor of this offensive line. With all the injuries sustained this week by Nolan McMillan, he's going to be the guy to keep the young guys up front all ready to go to keep Will Arndt uptight and ready and comfortable in that pocket.
Will Arndt, second down, 10 yards to go. Arndt has had some action this season, but that is a completion on the far side, likely setting up a 3rd down and short. Dominic Rhymes, who also comes in close to a milestone, just 50 yards away from a 1,000-yard season for Dominic tonight. They're setting up to go 3rd and short here.
Well, he had some nerves on that first throw, but it was good to see him work inside out, working his progression, saw man-to-man, got a great matchup with the big body of Dominic Rhymes going against Ford, who's a smaller defensive back. Great throw. Now they're in position for 3rd and 1 to run the quarterback sneak.
And that quarterback will not be Will Arndt, as they will run the sneak, 3rd and 1, and it is Jonathan Jennings, who, for all accounts and purposes before this season began, was the anointed starter. He would have thought for the REDBLACKS, but now he is the short yardage and a backup as they play this season out and hope upon hope that they can win out. A penalty flag is down. Andre Proulx, there he is with the ref camera on his cap tonight. Andre with the first call.
Offside, Toronto. This is a 5-yard penalty, the result of a 1st down.
Well, I know Toronto's defense having those penalties doesn't help this defense out, because with Cleon Lane coming back, he's been the anchor of this entire defense. When he's on the field, this front 4 can be just disruptors, but without him on the field, they can struggle. And Toby Antigua, he's going to make sure everybody's in the proper place to try to call some turnovers with this young offense for Ottawa's. And Alden Darby said he's going to be reading Will Arndt's eyes and try to pick up on any tendencies tonight and get some interceptions.
Well, Will Arndt shoveled that out. Had he lateraled it, that would have been okay, but he was over the line of scrimmage, it looked like. There is a flag down. That's the call. Will showing play action on that play. And how amped up do you think this guy is here?
I asked him if he's going to be able to sleep last night. And he said, "Oh, no, I'm going to sleep just fine." And
ruling on the field is the player who cut the football was out of bounds, so Toronto will have an option on the.
He was also over the line of scrimmage and threw the ball forward, but regardless, it's going to be against Ottawa. Here's a look. Line of scrimmage is the 45, and watch Arndt.
Well, he made a great read. He just has to decide what to do.
Clearly over the line of scrimmage.
Pass.
There it is.
Ottawa the quarterback was over the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. The pass is ruled incomplete. Second down.
Well, you can call that nerves. Lots of nerves going through this young man's mind. He's going to have to slow himself down right now. He's trying to make every play happen when technically he should have just ran, got a few yards, got down, and put them in a much better second down distance.
Will Arndt, how far has he come? He wasn't just the backup, Hank. He was the backup to the backup to the backup.
Yes.
That's how far Will Arndt has come. And now he gets his first career start here tonight. Four-man rush. Little slant to R.J. Harris. Harris is a first down bound and more into Toronto territory.
Well, this is a great play call by the throwing Samoan, Joe Paopao, getting the ball out quick to his young quarterback. In second and long, Toronto went to a zone defense. As you can see, Alex Mateus is downfield picking up some blocks. R.J. Harris makes a couple of guys miss, picks up a big first down. A great game script for the REDBLACKS offense here on this first drive.
Shotgun again, still throwing, and another completion, and Arndt looking good so far. Starting to do some balance, going left, going right, a lot of slants, and has Dominic Rhymes again. Here is the young man out of Western Connecticut State. He threw a lot of touchdowns and for a lot of yardage.
I mean, he had a fabulous run in college, and just to look at everything he's been through to get to where he is today, working in Fort McMurray, finally got an opportunity to try out, be a part of the Calgary Stampeders. That didn't work out, and now he finds himself being a starting quarterback here late in the season. Tonight's his audition to show the REDBLACKS that he can be a key piece in this puzzle moving forward.
Spent some time in Northern Alberta as well. There is Brendan Galanders, whose career began in Toronto. Galanders gets his first touch. Landers out of Orleans, Ontario. Played with the Argos back in 2014 and 15. Serviceable guy who's really spent most of his time with special teams.
Yeah, you know what? He's a workout demon. This guy puts in the work in the offseason. Originally from Ottawa, went to University of Ottawa, started out his CFL career with the Toronto Argonauts, and it's something he's getting his first start back on the field where he first started his career. So he's earned it, more than earned it.
Moses Madu out of the lineup, and another good play action. The Argos bit on the fake on 1st and 10. They don't bite that time, though, and Landers takes the pass and is stopped for a loss. Alden Darby.
Well, one of the things that Will Arndt will have to learn is in man-to-man situations, this isn't as good of a play. You want to try to run this against a zone defense to where you have more receivers than they do defenders. But in this case, it's man-to-man. Alden Darby has the running back coming out of the backfield. He does a great job rallying to the throw, making the tackle for a 1-yard loss.
Former product of Arizona State, Alden Darby. There's Arndt again, back, good poise, and that's a little low for Brad Sinopoli. That's a second down play. How about this number? We were talking about this before the game, and maybe it tells you a lot about the futility of the REDBLACKS offense. Sinopoli, who is one of the best receivers in the game, last year had 36 second down conversion catches, which was ranking in the top 3. This year, he has 8.
Wow. Well, that goes to show you where this offense has went this season, and unfortunately he lost his footing on that hook route. But Will Arndt, I think he's off to a great start here. Threw on time, put it where it needed to be. Just unfortunate they couldn't complete it.
And will it lead to a field goal? Yes, it does. Banks it home, Lewis Ward.
Did he call that?
Bank is open on a Friday night in Toronto for Lewis Ward. Another former GG. Point 3. Good first drive for Will Arndt. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power. Kind of a cool, windy night near the lake. Good night for football. Friday night football. Rod Black, Henry Burris, legend, and Matthew Shinetti sideline. A crew here tonight as the season winds down. Week 18, Canadian Football League. Cloud Bethel Thompson hands it off to James Wilder Jr. Something the Argos don't do very often on first down is run the football. We haven't seen that this season.
Yeah, running the ball is going to help open up opportunities for S.J. Green from the University of South Florida to reach that 10,000-yard mark, 95 yards away, and also protecting McLeod Bethel Thompson's blind side, the Reverend Randy Richards. He's going to make sure he can open up holes for James Wilder Jr. as well.
Like the way you said that, partner. 2nd and 5. Sends out 5. Bethel Thompson throws low. Making the catch on the first down, Darrell Walker, as he was able to pull that off his shoestrings.
A great job by Bethel Thompson of working through his read, getting to the backside, and getting it. You know, I know he wants to make a better throw there to allow Darrell Walker a chance to run after that reception. But again, Brandon Dandridge, you better get ready because they're going to target you a lot tonight with that young man.
31-year-old McLeod Bethel Thompson. Starter, non-starter. Oh, and Darrell Walker with a rare miscue. Can't hang on the far sideline.
I guess Darrell didn't hear what I said. They're going to be targeting him a lot tonight. But this defense up front, they're led by J.R. Tavai. He leads that front along with Avier Ellis with 5 sacks. He's going to be putting a lot of pressure on McLeod Bethel Thompson tonight. And Gerard Fernandez, he's the heart and soul, energy of this defense. He's the leader tonight for that defense with 38 tackles. And the aforementioned Brandon Dandridge. First CFL start. Hey, buddy, we're going to have our eyes on you tonight.
Bethel Thompson has time, loads of it, drops it in nicely. Far side for Jimmy Ralph. Looks like it's going to be short of a first down. We'll set up 3rd and a quarterback sneak here.
Well, being the boundary corner, Dandridge, he's giving them lots of space, playing soft, trying to, I guess, fill things out right now. Bethel Thompson, he's aware of that. Great job by Jimmy Ralph. Hey, he's from Raymond, Alberta. He wanted me to say hello to all his family back watching the game. But
there's a lot of them, by the way.
A lot of Ralphs.
Here's James Franklin, short yardage tonight. Again, had the start previously for the Argos. He's the anointed starter. Got hurt. McLeod Bethel Thompson came in, played. Franklin got the job back and then lost the job again. McLeod Bethel Thompson. Last time out against the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Had a date to remember.
He went off on Ottawa, over 400 yards and a 46-15 victory. This man, he was on a mission during the course of the season until he got benched. He's happy to be back out there, and he's going to take advantage of his opportunities, but he's hoping to get a big win for the Argos to try to close this season out in good fashion.
Argos wearing their whites that day. This is the second meeting of 3. They have 1 more to come this year. Bethel Thompson lays it in. And S.J. Green moves closer to 10,000 yards. 8-yard pickup. The highlight machine, S.J. Green.
Great anticipation by Bethel Thompson as he slid to the left a little bit, which caused the middle linebacker to work in that direction as well. That opened up the hole for S.J. Green. Hey, man, when it comes to intermediate, none is better than number 19.
82 yards away now, and less now. Almost 70 yards away from 10,000 yards.
Hey,
Solomon Jr. Green.
Bethel Thompson, he's, I guess we call it poetic justice tonight that he's issuing. Look at the timing on this RPO. When he gets it out, as soon as S.J. Green's head turns around, the ball's delivered where it needs to be so he can catch and run with it. Who's making the tackle? Dandridge.
How good were you in your Shakespeare in high school?
To be or not to be, that always confused me.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. That was Macbeth. Here is Macbeth. Again over the top. And carrying some bodies. A fumble football. It looks like it's Ottawa's ball. Declan Cross was pickpocketed near the 15-yard line. Declan Cross fumbling as the Argos were moving. There's Brandon Dandridge in the picture in the back, and Kevin Brown there as well. What a recovery for the Red Blacks.
Well, this was a great read by Bethel Thompson of looking off the linebackers, hitting the spot route right between the two backers. Now Kevin Brown, great job of stripping the ball out. They've been taught this in practice to always go for the football, get that turnover. Sad thing for Toronto, they had it in the green zone. First down and 10 for the Red Blacks.
Hart handing it off to Galanders. He's going to see his most action as a running back here tonight, his first start. Kevin Brown stripping the ball. Two teams that, I don't even think we have to go through the numbers for both of these teams statistically, because basically they're last or dead last, 8th or 9th all season long. And guess what? When you have numbers like that, Hank, you've been on good teams and some not so good teams. You're usually playing for next season. Here's Arndt on the backfield, swinging it out for Galanders again. Nice tackle. Close to a first down.
Well, it's good Arndt's taking the underneath. Just being safe, not trying to push the ball downfield, especially in this situation where you're backed up. At least reward the right to kick. Don't make a mistake early on that can put your team in a tough situation.
And because of field position, Red Blacks are deciding to punt the ball away. It's 3rd and a long one. What a hefty wind here tonight. Leone is going to boot this away. That's a good driving kick. Down to Chris Rainey. Gathers and runs it right into that special team at the 45. Cloud Bethel Thompson back in his office when we come back to Toronto. Week 18 rolls on tonight. Second half of our doubleheader. How about this one, Hank? Riders and Stamps. You know both those two teams, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Christmas Day at McMahon Stadium.
It is the red-green game. Tomorrow, another doubleheader. Alouettes and Blue Bombers might be the snowball. I got to get to that game somehow. Lions and Eskimos, second half tomorrow night. But it's Cowboy night here, so they've kind of taken a little bit from McMahon Stadium here in Toronto tonight. Country night. Bethel Thompson. Rodney Smith. And that shovel pass. He rumbles for a first down, it looks like. Might be a little short. They're going to spot it after 9.
That's always a good safe play, running a nice shovel on first down just to get some positive yards, but to put them in 2nd and 1, that's what you want. You want positive yards on first down to make it easy when it comes to making calls as far as offensively, and it puts the defense in a bind. But, hey, that's the way to get the drive out to a good start, something positive.
So they are going back and forth, interchanging Bethel Thompson and Franklin on short yardage plays. So they're giving Franklin some reps here tonight, wearing those pink shoes. A lot of the players spatted up in pink. Oh, a big hit there. And it looks like they're going to give him the spot and the first down as Franklin got stood up.
You're going to get that shoulder pad level low. You run in there standing straight up, you're going to get hit in your chest. Nice pop right there. Because as a quarterback, when you run a quarterback sneak, you're always taught to get your shoulder pad level low, just so when you get hit, you won't get knocked backwards like that, and it won't hurt as bad either, Rod. That's probably the biggest reason why they ask you to get your shoulder pad level low.
Randall Evans with that jolt. Bethel Thompson, he's humming right now. Another one for S.J. Green. Now just over 50 yards away from reaching a milestone that he was looking at before his season began, and even before his career began. 10,000 yards, a magic mark.
Well, I'm pretty sure Bethel Thompson knows that he needs just over 60 yards at this point right now to reach 10,000, and they're making a conscious effort to get the ball in his hands. But he's also a playmaker, so we're accustomed to seeing him do that on a play-to-play, game-to-game basis.
Macbeth, 7 of 8 so far. Make it 8 of 9. There's SJ down inside the 15, down inside that red or green zone, which is really appropriate with S.J. Green in the green zone.
Well, they're trying to get this area cleared out right here with all the different motion that's taking place and the route combination. Running the RPO will get the backers to step up inside, as Rodney Smith clears it out for him, S.J. Green inside when those backers bit up on the run fake, wide open for a nice big gain.
They'll hand it off to Chris Rainey getting a touch. It'll go second down, likely a throwing down. So now S.J. Green, guy who came into the league and was catching footballs from Anthony Calvillo, then Ricky Ray, and he's now 23 yards away. And you know something? He really has a great relationship with McLeod Bethel Thompson. They both call each other their guys, and they have a lot of respect for each other, and maybe even more respect in a season that has gone so astray.
Well, a guy who has such a remarkable career as S.J. Green, you got to rise above this occasion because he has set the bar for himself as a player. He must maintain those type of playing conditions and that playing level, and you see him doing it again here tonight.
This could be, no, it won't be, a touchdown. And on that corner is Brandon Dandridge. And good coverage on superstar Darrell Walker. Dandridge out of Missouri Western State.
Well, he did a great job right here. The ball was a bit underthrown. Well, actually, it wasn't underthrown. It was actually a perfect pass. He's got to make that catch, Darrell Walker. Instead of turning inside to it, he should just faded away. McLeod made a great throw right there.
So it's third down. And Tyler Crapina just inside the 20-yard line to tie this game. McLeod Bethel Thompson has been operating at high efficiency, Hank. Good percentage so far, just can't get it to the end zone. Will Arndt's turn on Country Night in Toronto coming up next. From Connecticut to Western Connecticut State, to Ottawa, now in Toronto tonight through Fort McMurray. Story. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Absolutely, Blackie. You know, Hank, you just spoke about recently just the work ethic that Will Arndt has. Maybe that was established most after that tryout that he had with the Calgary Stampeders when he was reached out to by a coach in the Alberta Football League who took him to Fort McMurray. Now, the Fort McMurray Monarchs are one of the powerhouses of the Alberta Football League, and during the 2016 season, right after those wildfires in Fort Mac, Will Arndt was the starting quarterback. And he said he grew a connection to the city. The motto there was, for the city, for our team, our city. And it was so impactful for him that he really took that, and we documented it in a TSN documentary, the Fort McMurray Monarchs, and you can really see it when you talk to Will Arndt's teammates, the dedication he has to that city and the game, guys.
Yeah, it's a remarkable story. He went there because he wanted to learn a little bit more about three-down football after being released by the Calgary Stampeders. And I think it says a lot about the dedication. We were talking before the game. Hank, you know this young man. You know how hard he's worked to get here and how much he's become a student of the game.
And he's one attentive student. And also, he's a guy who loves to contribute in the community as well. He came to me at first opportunity we met, and he said, I need to do something here in the city. Give me a chance. Show me what I need to do. Show me where I need to go and who I can help. And he's been helping out Ottawa ever since he's arrived.
Tells you a lot about the young man and his upbringing. And here's the blitz. Arndt throws. It's a high one, but it's caught. Nice catch by Dominic Rhymes. There's a penalty flag down in the backfield. Is that roughing the passer or was that a hold? One or the other?
Roughing the passer. Toronto number 96. 15 yards from the end of the play. And a first down.
How about the poise of this young man in the pocket here, and then takes the shot after delivering the football.
You can tell he's in the zone. He prepared his tail off for this game tonight. And we mentioned how Toronto loves to play a high percentage of man-to-man. And I know some people say, hey, can these guys get it done around him? His skill players. Well, they're making plays for him. He's throwing strikes, and he's standing in there and taking the hit after this. He realizes the moment, and he's going to make sure he captures this moment and do it the best that he can do.
Doing all right so far, the young guy. Turns and on the roll, waiting, now going deep into traffic. Oh. And there is a flag down, and this is likely contact or interference. The flag is just at the 5-yard line. Might be against Toronto, likely against Toronto. Anthony
Accidental
Covington.
Defensive pass interference. Toronto number 7. This is a 10-yard penalty. an automatic first down.
They give it to Robert Woodson. Anthony Covington.
Well, he's being aggressive here, Will Arndt is. Giving Holly an opportunity to make a play. I typically wouldn't tell him to throw that ball with a deep middle safety, but he's being aggressive, giving his guys chances to make plays for him, showing that he's confident in them, putting the ball up, allowing them to go up even in a double coverage situation to make a play. Fortunately for them, they got a pass interference call on Covington, so now they're in scoring distance.
First and 10 after the 10-yard penalty. Arndt again delivers to Sinopoli.
Rear Intelligent Emergency Braking. Innovative technology designed to help keep your family safe. Available in the Nissan Rogue.
He's one of the greatest players the Toronto Argonauts and the CFL has ever seen. Michael Pinball Clemens, great player, great coach, great citizen. Could have been mayor, I think, of any city in this country. There he is pregame today, and back at the helm of the ship once more. Renamed general manager of the Toronto Argos this weekend. Pinball is with us now. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
You haven't left, though. Now you're just...
Well, it is with humility, though. You know, good friend Jim Pop had that position and did a phenomenal job, brought us a Grey Cup, and so much respect to him. I actually had a chance to talk to him earlier today, and this happens in our game. It's a great game, but a terrible business. Right? And
Did you see this coming?
You know, they had asked me once before, or a couple times before. I said no the first time, so I can't say I didn't see it, but it wasn't my hope. It was my hope that we'd be able to correct the ship and get moving in the right direction, and we'd keep moving on, and I'd be an ambassador and have a lot more time on my hands. Yeah.
And you mentioned the appropriate time was not now. Why is this the time to take on this position?
Well, after we were out of the playoffs and they had made a decision that they were going to go a different direction, then I didn't need another job, but this is not a job. It's a passion. I love this team. I love this country. I love this league. And so if they felt that I had the ability not to do this, but to bring the people together to accomplish this, right? Because it's not one person that's going to do this, right? You have to bring people that are smarter than you to the table, and so collectively, we expect that we'll have collective greatness. We'll say that.
John Murphy's joining you now to handle the personnel side. Why John Murphy?
Well, John Murphy, because that's who Bill Manning told me he had hired. so that's why John Murphy. But this guy,
Murphy's a great guy.
Wow, the people that he knows, is just a Rolodex. It just keeps going and going. And you know, I've taken too many hits to remember everybody. And so if I do forget them, he knows exactly who they are. So it's a wonderful marriage.
You can't forget this stuff. All the highlights. It seems almost like yesterday. These 31 jerseys that are all over still, that you must be, you know, so proud of the fact that so many fans still wear your number, still know who you are. You have become the face of this franchise in so many ways. But how disheartening has it been this season in particular, especially so closely removed from a Grey Cup victory, to see what the team has had to struggle through?
Well, it has been a struggle. It does happen in sports, though. For me, the real struggle is the fans who are there, that fan base who pays their hard-earned money, and they want more. And so that's for me, it really is the fans. It boils down to the fans. We want to give the fans our best, and so we will build, we will get better, and we will give them more for their money.
Here's an idea of the passion you had when you won the Grey Cup as a head coach. You win it as a player, you win it as a coach. What about winning it as an executive?
Well, you know, that's what our plan, that's what our hope is. I have to tell you, though, when you win it, right, it takes a whole group of people, and it really doesn't matter what position you hold. All of them are important, each and every one of them, and that's the emphasis we want to make. We want to just, you know, have this energy that we give to people that tells each and every one of every person in our organization that they are significant, that they are important, that they are difference makers, and that's when our team is going to make a difference.
Wow. I'm inspired. I'm inspired. Now, just quickly.
Yes.
As a GM, what's the first thing you want to accomplish?
The very first thing I want to accomplish is just to thank the fans and let them know that we appreciate them, we love them, and then following that, we just need to go to the board and begin to strategize and figure out how we're going to get better. This is not a process that you just throw together in 5 minutes. This is a building process that is probably going to take us a couple of years.
Do we have to call you Mr. Pinball, Mr. Clemens?
Please don't do that. Yes, so
good luck.
Thank you so very much.
Welcome back. Congratulations.
Thank you, and both of you. You do a fantastic job. So fun, so entertaining. And Mr. Burris, I just the only thing I love is you on the field. Maybe he's a comeback.
Hands up.
Good sign. Closer and closer. S.J. Green to that legendary status of 10,000 yards. Here's Matthew.
Absolutely, Rod. You know, I was just talking to S.J. Green. I don't normally do this, but I wanted to remind him how many yards away he was to 10,000. I said, you might be, closer to 50. He looked at me. He said, check your math, Shinetti. It's 23. So he is keeping an eye on it. There's a reason why I'm on the sidelines and don't do stats.
Well, yeah. Very smart guy, great writer, great broadcaster, and you were terrible at math in school. So there you go. 23 he is away. Matthew gets an update from S.J. Green. Hey, when you were close to milestones, did you know exactly how? Now, honestly, now that you're not playing anymore, now that you're panel guy, hanging out with Juice Slurpee Boy and all that, honestly, did you know?
If it was a winning season, no. If it's a losing season, yes, because you're striding for different goals, right? So I know in this case, everybody in that offense collectively wants to make sure he sets that record tonight.
Maybe on this drive. Like to get it out of the way, and it's getting closer and closer. S.J. Green said before he began his career, he looked at all those receivers and had such great respect when he came into the league for Milt Stiegel and G-Roy Simon and so many others when he came in. Jamel Richardson looked at those 10,000-yard numbers and dreamed of that, and he's now 9 yards away.
That is something.
Joining Milt and G-Roy. All of those legends. Oh, those are Hall of Fame numbers. Far side.
The thing I love about S.J. Green still is the fact that no matter how long he's been in this league, and no matter how young the defensive backs are that are covering him, that's teaching tape. He does everything perfectly every time when he runs routes. He knows how to get a defensive back to do everything that he's talked about, depending on what the route is. For any young guys out there watching this game, and you're a wide receiver, watch the way S.J. Green runs his routes. Hey, he does it to perfection every time.
Maybe right here. Ethel Thompson going deep. And it is almost caught. Going up high for it was Armonte Edwards on second down.
Well, this is a great play call. I mean, they caught the right defense with the right play. They ran a man-to-man play, had the free safety on the weak hash. McLeod did a great job of holding the safety there, trying to take a shot to Armonte Edwards on that corner route. Just unfortunately, it was a little too far upfield, allowing the defensive back to help break it up.
So they'll have to boot it away. 3-3 game, 10.5 minutes to go. Shouldn't be surprised with a 3-3 score. Two teams that don't score many points early in ball games. In fact, last and second last in the league. Slow starters. Now they need to get some offense. Rafael Araujo Lopes pushed out of bounds. Will Arndt back to work. Armonte Edwards going up high for this one, trying to one-hand it. Cannot. Friday Night Football continues from the 6. Ottawa fans making the trek. Red Blacks, like the Argos, kind of shaking their heads this season, not knowing what hit them. Will Arndt, slant pattern over the top. And once again, finds Dominic Rhymes, who's had a breakout season. Big receiver, and I say breakout. You were around when Dominic Rhymes was around. What prevented him, beyond the obvious not getting enough playing time, from doing what he's doing this season?
Well, it's just been such an up-and-down season. I mean, they've had 3 different quarterbacks now who've played in this system, 2 different offensive coordinators calling plays. It's hard for a young kid to grasp what you're doing with so much change. But it's good to see Will Arndt bounce back after the interception. Same man-to-man, he threw it behind R.J. Harris on the final drive, but now he's able to open up this drive with a good completion to get them some good yardage.
Wants to take off with it, and he decides to slide. Have a couple here for Will Arndt. What's the toughest thing for Will Arndt tonight as you see another legend on the sideline, Joe Paopao, quarterback's coach, getting the signals into his helmet for Will Arndt. What's the toughest thing for this young guy tonight?
Well, to know the script before you walk out on the practice field, now all of a sudden everything's off the cusp. What are we going to run? What defense are we going to be faced against? It's much different from practice to the game. The defense, they aren't running out cars. They're trying to come hit you hard. But now if you make a turnover, it hurts, as opposed to being able to run the play over again in practice. So you got to make good decisions. He's had 1 turnover. Now let's test and see his resiliency to bounce back.
Arndt over the top, and that's dropped. Craig Morris knew he could have had and should have had that one. It's 3rd down. They'll have to kick it away.
Greg Morris, a.k.a. Juice. Now, Juice, Will Arndt needs some of your juice tonight in order to get this offense going. We talked about the playmakers need to make the plays to help get this young quarterback off to a good start, but even more so, feeling good about the things that he's doing. On the year so far, 0 touchdown passes for him in 26 attempts, 2 interceptions. Now 3, we got to overcome that and start to get some positive things going in the right direction for him.
Again, the swirling wind near the lakeshore tonight. Richie Leone is going to launch from near his 28-yard line. Bouncing in front of Chris Rainey, who is going to be swarmed and brought down. And might this be the drive that SJ gets to 10K? Man behind that blue visor could make history tonight, joining an elite group of receivers in the 10,000-yard mark in the CFL. And yeah, a Hall of Fame resume for sure. An incredible catch radius, highlight reel catches throughout his career. May have more highlight reel catches than anybody. And along the way, Grey Cups.
Heart attacks for every defensive coordinator in this league. Fans from the opposition hating for 19 to catch the ball.
He's officially 12 yards away. 12 yards away. We've been updated from Steve Daniel. Director of Statistics, Canadian Football League. Maybe on this drive.
Those are 2 former ACC opponents there, James Wild Jr. from Florida State and Gerard Fernandez from North Carolina State. But one thing, Rod, about S.J. Green, of every single guy who's went over 10,000 yards receiver, from Mookie Mitchell, who played here with the Toronto Argonauts, up to G. Roy Simon and Milt Stegall, they all have one thing in common. They're all in the Hall of Fame.
They are all in the Hall of Fame. It's kind of like 500 home runs in baseball. You get to that mark, or a certain amount of wins, and become a Hall of Famer. It's where you will reside someday. I'm sure you will get that same call, and it will be flattering, I'm sure, and a proud moment for all. But you don't play the game to get in a Hall of Fame, do you?
No, it's kind of the result of what you've been able to produce during your time. I mean, the one thing that's near and dear to guys who are able to achieve that, you always thank your teammates, your coaches, the people who help get you there, because you can't do it on your own. But the work that you put in, that's the result.
2nd and inches. You talked about that earlier, about James Franklin staying a little high, and a little high that time too. You're gonna get some ice bags. You keep doing that.
Yeah, he better get that shoulder pad level lower. You know, he's going to hear this song called Hello, Is It Me You're Looking For? He doesn't want to hear that, because those guys are looking to make big hits, and especially when the quarterback has the ball, everybody's licking their chops.
It's good. Henry Burris, karaoke night tonight at BMO Field. Cloud Bethel Thompson, past the midway point, 2nd quarter. Launching here, downfield, incomplete, flag down. Again, looking for Armani Edwards. And this one is going to bring that ball down the field considerably. Interference call against the Red Blacks.
Unfortunately for Brandon Dandridge, you're going up against with McLeod Bethel-Thompson in there.
Ottawa number 38. Point of the infraction. Automatic first down.
Now this offense, when McLeod Bethel-Thompson was on during midseason, they were averaging over 300 yards passing a game. And with three of the, in my mind, the best receivers in this league, from S.J. Green, Armani Edwards, and Darrell Walker, he puts the ball up. He is not afraid to let it fly deep. And unfortunately, 38's on the other end of where the ball's being delivered.
It's Rick Campbell. Bethel-Thompson swarmed and sacked. First of the ball game, J.R. Tavai. Avery Ellis tag team as McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Mouthpiece has taken a beating this year for Bethel-Thompson. He's been sacked a number of times, usually ends up around the nose.
Yeah, especially with this offensive line. They're 8th in the league for sacks allowed. Now this is the RPO. Here, actually Kevin Brown did a good job of redirecting Rod Smith as he came from one side of the ball to the other. We call that a slide into the flat. But unfortunately, that redirect didn't allow him to get rid of the ball because it could have been picked off. So he decided to hold on to the ball, which allowed Ottawa's defense to get back to him and make the sack.
Bethel-Thompson, deep drop in time. Looking end zone here for SJ. And again, that call coming in the end zone, in goal. If it is interference in goal, that ball will go down to the 1 yard line.
Defensive pass interference. Ottawa number 27. The ball will be placed on the 1 yard line. Automatic first down.
They're running a bit of everything. Double moves there on Sherrod Baltimore to try to get S.J. Green deep and into the end zone. And McLeod Bethel-Thompson, he's not holding back. He's going to let it fly. And he's giving his Hall of Fame wide receiver an opportunity to make a big play. And if he doesn't make the big play, well, gives you a chance to also get a pass interference call, which they did.
Down to the 1 yard line. James Franklin's throwing and should have been caught. Ryan Bombin. On first and goal, that would have been an easy touchdown. Bombin had done that before. Jamal Campbell this season also had a touchdown. Similar play. And this doesn't work. They'll go second and goal.
Well, nobody expected Ryan Bombin to run a route on this play, but he had him wide open. Make the throw easy for the big guys. Well, James Franklin, you're going to owe them a nice meal after that.
Franklin staying high again. And now it's third down. And so Franklin, who could have struck for a touchdown on a pass, here's where the Argos have really failed, and that's close, getting close this season.
Yeah, he's not giving himself a chance. I mean, he's not running that quarterback sneak with any conviction. I mean, he already blew it on that first pass to Ryan Bombin. I mean, in my mind, he's being a vulture right now. He vultured a touchdown from the offensive line. He's got to run with some conviction when running this quarterback sneak. Find a hole and run with power.
Or just dance in. A year ago, he had 14 rushing touchdowns. That's only his second this season. That's only the second rushing touchdown from a Toronto quarterback this season. So that was adventurous, to say the least, but the Argos still get the touchdown.
Well, eventually he found the hole here, was able to get in to the end zone, but the thing is, you still have to play hard for your teammates. That's who you play hard for. The coaches make the decisions, but your teammates and you have to play hard for each other. But fortunately enough, he was able to get it in on a third try to wrap up that 9-play, 82-yard drive that took up 4 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock.
And an Argo team that last year, I don't know, they were 4-14. Team that still scored a lot of touchdowns in tight inside the 5 yard line. They just haven't even come close this season to that area. So Franklin, who had 14 touchdowns rushing last year, just his second. Well, Hank, Week 6 continues Sunday. The National Football League. Carolina Panthers and the Bucks. Action continues in the afternoon. Zeke and the Cowboys Le'Veon Bell and the Jets. Action gets underway 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. Keeps on rolling all day across the TSN and CTV networks. That Panthers-Bucks game is in London, England, as a matter of fact, isn't it?
A little cup of tea.
You played the National Football League. You know what it's all about. I get, sometimes I'm sure you hear the argument, CFL versus NFL. I'm sure you're of the same thought in mind. If you're a football fan, you love all kinds of football.
You love all types of football. Good games are good games. Great games are great games. Well, I know people said, hey, tonight you have Ottawa and Toronto, whose seasons probably aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Washington Redskins and the Miami Dolphins, whose seasons aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So football is football.
And sometimes games like this turn into thrillers.
They turn into thrillers.
Because you are playing for jobs next year. You're playing for pride. And anytime you strap it up, you have to play 100%, or there's a good chance that you're not going to have a job next year, or you could get hurt.
Well, you're professional. That's what you get paid to do.
Well, one possession game. Rougeau Lopes picking his way up near the 32-yard line. I have a little bit of a hard time in Toronto when I mention the name Raphael Rougeau. Nothing against Raphael Rougeau Lopes, but as a basketball announcer and a basketball follower through the years, the Toronto Raptors once had somebody named Raphael Rougeau. And nothing against him, and they call him Hoppa. It was a bit of a bust.
Oh,
this guy's not a bust, though.
He's running hard.
He's running hard.
Breaking some tackles, giving them great starting field position.
Out of Pitt, a Panther. There he is. Speedster. Simi, Florida. Well, Will Arndt. And you lead your team down towards that end zone. You think it's slowing down for him, Hank, at this point? Getting a little more comfort for Will Arndt?
Definitely. You can see him settling down. I mean, it does take a turnover or something to happen. That can definitely mess with your confidence. But to see him bounce back the way he did, he's starting to settle down now. Now they got to put together a string of completions.
It's the 3-minute warning before halftime on Friday Night Football. Argos by 7.
3 minutes to halftime. Coming up, we're going to talk about the career of S.J. Green, the first career start of Will Arndt. Part 2 of the doubleheader, a big one between the Stamps and the Riders. And we'll also further explain Henry's use of the term fantasy vulture.
The fantasy vulture.
Oh, those guys are well aware of that, playing CFL fantasy.
Hanks with us tonight in the booth here at BMO. Get to the boys in 3 minutes. Ratsinopoli on second down. Guy that you used so many times as well with Greg Ellingson. Those second down receivers. Sinopoli, again, just 9 second down conversions.
Man, that's something. I mean, as a former quarterback, Brad Sinopoli, he knows where to find those holes in zones. And I love the throw by Will Arndt. He threw it with confidence on that throw. Put it right between the 8 and the 8. Great catch, first down, move those sticks.
1st and 10. Arndt, he's in trouble. Down he goes. Down he goes. Leon Lang got there, but so too did Kingsley Opara. Replacing Davon Coleman.
Leon Lang always gets push up front. He's a nightmare in the middle, a big-time disruptor where the offensive lines have to double-team him, which frees up the other 3 in a 4-man rush, allowing guys like Gilchrist, Bishop, everybody who's involved to get back to the quarterback while he's taking all the extra focus from the offense.
They give the sack to Cleon. That's his 6th of the season. Ball is dropped. R.J. Harris and the Argos are going to get the ball back. And McLeod Bethel-Thompson gets a chance to run a 2-minute offense before halftime.
They're doing a great job of finding ways to get defenders poaching around in the middle, giving lots of different looks, switching up the man, switching up the zones, and asking different guys to be aware of certain in cuts. Alden Darby's been jumping all the different in routes. Look as this game continues on for double move inside as he's the free safety jumping inside routes. From Joe Pow, you might want to dial that up soon.
Like your intel. That's a booming kick from Leone. Chris Rainey stutter step out of traffic. Good starting point for the Argos. There's the guys. Benny, Milty, Ches, and Roderick. Ram at the half coming back.
That's quite the four-piece right there.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, you got the Don Corleone in the middle.
Yeah, that's like a little boy band. Little boy band.
And you got David Sanchez. David Sanchez.
Yeah, that is an eclectic mix. Coach, receiver, DB, and the anchor Rod Smith.
Yeah, those guys do a fantastic job breaking the game down. They have a great time doing it. And there's another Ottawa-born Ettore Lattanzio making tackles inside. He's a machine in there. A little battering ram, finds ways to make plays also. 2nd down and 7.
It's a red-black team. Been on a losing skid of 7 in a row. Oh, and over the top, 10K SJ. SJ Green has now joined the 10,000-yard club. And that, my friends, is a ticket to the Hall of Fame. That's the greatest.
And look at those hands. I mean, one thing he's been known for is the work ethic in the offseason, the different drills that he does to strengthen those hands.
SJ Green, 18th overall. The crowd just realizing it. It's up on the board. Solomon Jr. Green, Tampa, Florida native. 3-time Grey Cup champion. Has made that number famous north of the border. Has been the green machine. Highlight reel after highlight reel, and now SJ Green, you are in the history books.
You know, when I came into this league, I saw guys like Ben Calhoun, I saw guys like Jamel Richardson, G. Rush Simon, Milt Stegall. I saw the greats, the Nick Lewis. I saw guys that elevated themselves to a place of eliteness and consistency. However many years history it had been at that moment, at that point, there's only been 10 or 11 guys to like cross that threshold. I said I want to be one of those guys to cross that threshold, and to be this close to that moment from a goal that I set 13 years ago, it's kind of surreal, and it's just, you know, humbling all at the same time.
Well, there's a guy in our studio who can appreciate his greatness, SJ Green. You know what I love about all those receivers, you know, look down the 18, how they're like snowflakes. So many of them are so different. SJ's a very different receiver than a lot of those guys. He had his own strengths and built his name up here.
And people continue to say he's battling against Father Time, but he's out there. It doesn't matter who they put on him, man-to-man. He's finding ways to get open. He's still productive. I'm pretty sure he's got a lot more yards to come on top of this one.
Yeah, he's not done yet. And, you know, it makes you wonder, you know, where that ball is going to go. A special place for SJ Green. Tonight joins a very select, august group of players. And as you mentioned, all Hall of Famers.
All Hall of Famers. And he's one young man who respects the guys that have paved the way for him. He just listed off a list of guys, which includes our very own colleague, Milt Stegall, in the studio. But he understands the game before him and the things that he's doing for the game and the future of the Canadian Football League.
James Wilder. Oh, my goodness. Trucks his way. Thunders for 12 yards. That's the James Wilder Jr. we watched during the Grey Cup season for the Toronto Argonauts when he was the Rookie of the Year.
A man playing with boys. It's hard to tackle him. Sherrod Baltimore. Ooh, meet Mr. James Wilder. It's a big man running the ball.
Wild thing. He almost went out of his way to go and take a shot at Baltimore. Bethel Thompson out of the backfield again and wrapped up, brought down. By the way, Sherrod Baltimore, what a incredible journey he's had, of course, from throes of poverty to getting to professional football. Fascinating guy who appreciates life every single day. Only the strong survive. Great documentary that ran on SportsCenter as well. It's on tsn.ca. Watch it and admire the man.
Yeah, it's prepared him for his professional career, and he never forgets it. He's been through ups and downs this season, benched, back playing, benched, back playing, but he continues to give it his all every single snap.
Like that man. This is the S.J. Green drive. Don't you get a sense, I guess with 18 seconds, that for the flair, for the dramatic, that it should only end with a touchdown to S.J. Green? We shall see.
That would be fitting. Get him in the end zone and watch the celebration that will occur. As you can tell, him reaching that 10,000-yard mark has ignited this team with energy. Look at how James Wilder Jr. is running the ball. Look how McLeod Bethel-Thompson is throwing the ball. Already over 100 yards tonight.
They got to watch the clock here now, Hank. 1st and 10. Inside that 20-yard line, the green or red zone. They're looking end zone. Bethel-Thompson, lots of time here. Turns and fires. Deep end zone. Touchdown! Armani Edwards. What a laser from McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Is there anybody near Armani Edwards?
When you allow your quarterback that much time, he's going to find a way to get it to one of his receivers. He did a great job of improvising, getting outside the pocket, buying some time. Hey, when you got those big three receivers like they have, they should be putting a lot more points up than what they have been. They've been moving the ball downfield all day, and finally able to hit pay dirt on back-to-back occasions. Great throw by McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
He heard the footsteps of J.R. Tavai behind him. Edwards has the touchdown. The Argos, the rare lead at halftime. Edwards with his 5th of the season. Tyler Crapigna with a point after, with 9 seconds to go before the half.
Well, to quote McLeod Bethel-Thompson, to be or not to be, that touchdown was meant to be. 8 plays, 72 yards. Took up 1 minute and 51 seconds off the clock, not allowing Ottawa much time to counter on their next drive, but definitely a zone defense here. Well defended by the Red Blacks defensive secondary. But once again, what makes the secondary better is pressure up front from your defensive line. But if your quarterback is able to buy time, this is when the scramble drills kick in, which you work in practice every single day. This is the reason why you work it. Your receivers get on the same page, know where they're supposed to be in relation to the side that the quarterback is rolling to. Touchdown to former quarterback at Appalachian State, Armani Edwards.
Noel Thorpe and the Alouettes at one time, now with the Red Blacks coming over as the DC, and been a struggle for this team defensively. It's been a struggle for them offensively. So many changes in the offseason, and now Will Arndt, really thrown into the fire here tonight.
Yeah,
but why not?
Yeah, why not?
You get your chance.
Well, typically it was the Lumberjacks cutting wood cookies that was buzzing in Ottawa, but recently it's been about the future of this team and what's going to happen, because a lot of fans are upset to see this team go from the Grey Cup to right now possibly the worst team in this league. But again, the one thing you got to find out is pushing on towards the future and finding out who's going to be on this ball club. It's Will Arndt's audition tonight.
Rougeau Lopes down to 4 seconds. Hey, you know what this is about, Hank. You played for this team. You played on this field. A little hostility afterwards. But you remember what it was like in the expansion team. I remember watching you and Sir Vincent Rogers on the field after a losing season, and you kind of told him, you said, hey, it's going to get better. Guess what? You guys went and won yourself a Grey Cup.
And we definitely did. And that's the difference between what we had in the past and what I'm seeing right now. You don't have those veterans to that level. They have some great veterans on their team, but there's 3 different types of leaders. Your emotional leaders, detailed, and also your leaders by example. They've got detailed and leaders by example, but they don't have those emotional leaders that'll tell you, pick yourself up, let's go, we're going to push through this. And right now we're seeing when you lose, it's hard to always recover. Hopefully Will Arndt could be one of those guys moving forward. He's done a great job of bouncing back after that interception. Now it's time, as we mentioned, for them to put together a drive and get some points on the board.
There's the juice. Greg Morris gets a run on the final play of the first half, and Argos down. And S.J. Green, now a member of the 10,000-yard club, and the Argos with a rare lead at the half. Why don't you throw it to your boys in the studio? You go ahead.
You know what? Let's take it over to Rod and the boys with the halftime show. What's up, guys?
Reminder, Diana Ringers, there's still a half to play for the Save on Foods $1 Million touchdown to win. One kickoff, return to pay dirt to get you $10,000 home theater package. If it happens twice, You could also be in store for $1 million. Again, I say good luck as we get set for the second half in Toronto.
It's Friday night football, yeah! Boys are all here gonna put on a show.
Welcome back to Toronto. S.J. Green night, 10,000-yard mark for the Argo receiver. They lead 17-3. Will Arndt's debut so far. He is with Matthew Chenet.
Will, how do you assess that first half?
I got to be able to sustain drives. Details, I got to be better. We're going to sharpen some things up, make corrections at the half, and just moving on to the next play.
And for those of us who aren't experiencing what you're experiencing, play to play, how does your vision adjust? How do you look at the field? How is everything adjusting play to play, snap for snap for you right now?
Yeah, just I got a good feel for what they're doing now, and looking forward to the second half to just execute on the plays we got.
Thanks, Will.
Yep, you got it. Thanks, guys.
So Will Arndt with just 92 yards. McLeod Bethel-Thompson, he played in this first half. Hank, correct me if I'm not seeing the same thing you are, but he played like he never wants to be standing on the sideline ever again.
And he said he does not want to be standing on the sideline. He always felt that even when James Franklin was playing, that this was still his team. And look at the way he's throwing the ball. He's in command of that huddle. And he's doing what it's going to take for this team to get points on the board.
How about this? Short kick. And the new guy gets the football. Brandon Dandridge on a short kick catches the Argos napping out of the locker room. Bob Dice loving this.
Rolling the dice. Hey, that's why Rick Campbell and Bob Dice are two of the best at what they do. They know how to dial up things probably when you least expect it. Toronto definitely wasn't aware or expecting this to happen.
Brandon Dandridge, the 10-yard rule, has to go 10 yards. It does, and the REDBLACKS get the football immediately. Good starting point on a short kick, and there he is. Longtime coach, special teams coordinator Bob Dice. Will Arndt looks one way, goes over the top, and we'll see what kind of adjustments they made. Marco Dubois, fullback, hauls that in. A product of Laval. Rouge et Or. Now playing with the Rouge et Noir.
Oh, Bob Dice. I love working with Bob Dice. He's such a great guy. Knows how to motivate his players out there. Even through all the frustrations of the season, you still see that special teams flying down, hitting hard, but also expect the unexpected from Bob Dice, the owner of Harleys. He loves his Harleys.
Yeah, he's a good
so
man.
he's got his special teams spinning and rolling out there.
5-yard penalty.
Again,
Still second
one
down.
team 3-11, one team 2-12, 5-23 between them. One team's lost 7 in a row. One team's lost 3 in a row. It's been annus horribilis for both teams this year. Not playing like that tonight. They're playing like this is a playoff game. In many ways, for some of them, it is their future. It
is their future. Their final audition to hopefully be playing football next year.
And over the top, Will Arndt, maybe his best thrown football so far tonight to R.J. Harris. And the kid's got some rhythm right now.
Well, he's feeling good. They have to improve on second and long in the first half. They were only 25%. But keep an eye on this backer. If he widens outside, that takes away that route. However, great job by Will Arndt keeping his eyes down the middle of the field, not giving Eric Stryker any idea he's going to take that shot to R.J. Harris.
Brandon Galanders on first down. Again, the REDBLACKS, even though they've lost 7 in a row, still aren't mathematically eliminated. They could win out. It would have to be a miracle finish, and Edmonton would have to lose out. But I even think Rick Campbell kind of knows this season got away from them quite some time ago.
Yeah, it's like once they started to spiral in the wrong direction, they didn't do a great job of recovering. That's what the great teams do. You're always going to have an onset of negativity. You're going to sustain some losses. The other teams get paid, but they just weren't able to rebound quick enough. That's what happens to young teams. That's what the REDBLACKS are this season.
And there's Brad Sinopoli on second down. Mr. Second Down, a guy who's missed his bud this year, and Greg Ellingson. They were such formidable weapons inside as slot backs through the years with the Red Blacks, and Sinopoli does what he does best on second down.
Well, they dialed up some heat here. Toronto's defense did. The switch released by Brad Sinopoli outside allowed him to get open. They blew the switch as far as the Argo defensive backs. Great throw, great completion.
Not such a great throw that time, behind the intended target by Arndt. Setting up another second down.
He's getting excited. He put together a string of completions, getting overexcited, overjubilant. The feet are getting heavy in the pocket. Just continue to settle down, young man. He's going to find that out with more experience. But he's got to get it going now because he started off with a completion on second and long, which they struggled on in the first half. Let's see if he can put this together now to get them in the green zone.
Seventh play of their most impressive drive so far. They run a screen. It's Galanders scooting out. Brenton Galanders, the former Argo, hustles down inside the 10-yard line, and another well-executed play by the Ottawa Redblacks and William Arndt.
Now, I know Brendan Galanders, he's a great north-south runner, but you know what? Look at this cut right here. He gave a nice two-piece with some toe slaw to Gilchrist. Gilchrist, you thought you had him. Now you see him. Now you don't, young man. Look at that toe slaw right there. A nice cut back inside to get some extra yardage. Get them inside the 10-yard line. Like Will talked about, Will Arndt talked about it coming out after halftime. They've got to string together a drive, put together some consistent plays, execute, and get the ball in the end zone.
One thing you didn't tell Matthew Shinetti was we're also going to try that onside kick, the short kick. It did told him everything
Can't give away all the secrets.
Step aside and come back to TO. All right, legend, take it away.
Sunday on CTV, Nathan Fillion is back to take down crime. Get into an all-new episode of The Rookie, Sunday at 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain, only on CTV. Hey, then make sure you stream anytime as well.
That was really
Is that
good.
all right?
That was really good. For a rookie, technically, you're not really a rookie. I mean, you're an older rookie, but speaking of rookies, how about this guy? And he's not really a rookie either because he's been around, but, you know, first career start tonight. Good drive so far.
He's definitely settled down since halftime. Put together a great drive right here.
Run the pistol. And it's a play action. Should be a touchdown. And it is R.J. Harris to the house. And Will Arndt has his first touchdown pass in his first career start.
They did a great job of mixing up the motion there, knowing Toronto was going to play man-to-man. They had some off-schedule motion that maybe the Argos haven't seen. It allowed on the RPO fake R.J. Harris to outflank his defensive back to get outside. Will Arndt saw that, recognized it, pulled it, got it to his wide receiver. Big touchdown, the first of his career.
Yeah, night for souvenir footballs. Wonder if he'll keep that one. Yes, he will. Wow, from Sandy Hook, Connecticut to Canada, through Fort McMurray. I'm sure he's thinking about those Monarchs tonight, the great people in Fort Mac tonight. Played there, comes to Ottawa, learns and learns, and that drive showed you all the hard work can pay off.
Well, Rick Campbell dialed it up with Bob Dice to get the ball in the young man's hands, and he went to work, surgically picking his defense apart, recognizing zone, recognizing man, hey, delivering nothing but strikes, and Brendan Galanders with the toe slaw right there. Nice little two-step to get them within scoring distance. RPO fake, get it to R.J. Harris. Touchdowns, 8-play drive, consumed 3 minutes and 28 seconds off the clock. Great start to this second half for Ottawa. They were feeling a bit hot garbage there in the first half, but hey, that garbage isn't so hot anymore. It's starting to cool down, cool suave, looking smooth on that first drive.
You got a lot in there of that.
I've been listening to you, Ron.
That was lyrical, man. Will Arndt, congratulations, young man.
Dad, Chris, Steph.
Good stuff from Will Arndt. A year where they've been struggling to find the guy. Dominic Davis, Jonathan Jennings, veteran arms, couldn't get it done, and it's the young gunslinger with the Red Blacks in the end zone. Curly Gittins and SJ after a score by RJ Harris. What a first half for S.J. Green, milestone night.
Well, it's already over 100 yards off of 7 catches tonight, and you knew they were making a valiant effort to get the ball in 19's hands tonight. And hey, when he runs routes, he is the doctor of running routes. I mean, you make sure if he has an instruction video, you make sure you get your hands on it. But hey, this is only the beginning for this young man. He's still got some mileage on those legs, and look at it, over 10,000 yards.
They hand it off to James Wilder. Well, lots of love, I'm sure, in the Twitterverse tonight, including from our good friend Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, former Alouette, and a brief stop in Canada. NFL great, 10,000 yards of wow. Another guy from Florida as well. Hashtag pull together. Ocho Cinco watching tonight. Say hello to him, and he's saying hello to S.J. Green. Jimmy Ralph gets a first down. Cloud Bethel Thompson looking to answer here.
Well, that's a case of real recognizing real, but remember, Ocho Cinco was with S.J. Green in Montreal, his teammates there for one season. And you can tell that football enthusiasts, they love football. To know that people south of the border are keeping their eyes on the production by S.J. Green and many others here in this league. But it's great to see S.J. go over 10,000 yards, and I just can't wait to see just how this completes as far as where he ends up as far as in the top receivers yards-wise in CFL history.
Darrell Walker tripped up on that natural grass, the only field in the CFL with natural turf, albeit except for areas of the end zone here. This is the home of TFC, the soccer team here.
Darrell struggled tonight. He's had a number of opportunities to make some plays, but just hasn't. You thought he'd be licking his chops right with S.J. Green. Going up against his secondary that's given up a lot of yards passing. They're 8th in the league against the pass. You thought he'd be licking his chops to get some big yardage tonight.
Well, lots of football left. Bethel Thompson stepping up, tucking it, and going head first. Forget the slide. Head first slide into second base. Bethel Thompson.
He's getting poetic. Thou might go by the air, thou might go by the ground. Look at him, he tucks it, recognizes that the middle opens wide up. They did not have a guy to account for number 4, and he did it in a poetic style. McLeod Bethel Thompson, first down.
Fair is foul and foul is fair, as they said in Macbeth. Here's the blitz. Bethel Thompson, deep strike. Oh, what a catch! Oh, of course he would on his night. Number 700 is just another routine, ordinary, extraordinary catch from S.J. Green.
I love how as Chaffee got close to him, he used a little shoulder bump right there just to get a bit of separation, so therefore it will push him right into catching that pass. That's a way not to use your hands. Use your shoulder to get that push to make that catch and get the separation.
Right, they try to get him to the house here. Bethel Thompson drops, fires, and laying out. Touchdown! Armani Edwards again. What a quick response by the Argos. And that all set up. Another great drive and catch from S.J. Green. Edwards has the ball, but S.J. Green might have another football for his trophy case tonight, number 700.
It's a great job on McLeod Bethel Thompson, and the ball location here down and away from the defenders, so only Armani Edwards can make that catch. He's throwing with conviction tonight.
Just after Will Arndt has struck back with R.J. Harris. The Argos show some resistance. Swing right back.
What a great job to answer that score by the Ottawa REDBLACKS. McLeod Bethel Thompson, a great throw, 6 plays, 79 yards. Took up 3 minutes, 12 seconds off the clock. Back after this.
Well, S.J. Green and Armani Edwards putting on a show tonight with McLeod Bethel Thompson. And I'm sure in the back of their minds right now, both of them are probably thinking, Where was this earlier in the season?
Well, they were on a roll there, especially in August. A number of 400-yard games, a number of 300-yard games. And they were in the lead playing against some pretty good opponents. But I think the wind came out of the sails after that first half in Hamilton where they had a commanding lead just to see the Ticats come back. And it seems like they haven't been able to regain the momentum ever since then.
Armani Edwards, the former quarterback turned receiver. Clow Bethel Thompson. This magic with S.J. Green again. How many layout catches do you think this dude's had in his career?
I mean, he had some of the most remarkable catches I've ever seen, especially the one in Saskatchewan with one hand. He makes his quarterbacks look great. That's what great receivers do. He's uncoverable.
During a return, major foul. Blocking below the waist.
How good has it been for this guy to be around that guy?
He's been able to learn so much, especially being a young receiver
and a first down Ottawa.
And a quarterback. You know, he understands the defenses that he sees and how he needs to get open, but you can just see the genuine relationship that those two have working together. It's helped him propel his game to the level that he's at, and he wants to continue even getting better now.
Well, something to smile about for the Argos. The Red Blacks now looking to strike back, and it's a two-possession ball game again. Loads of time left, though, here tonight at TO. Will Arntt's going to try to engineer another drive like last time. That sliced and diced really worked.
It definitely did. And he's settling down right now and seeing the defense, whereas Toronto's ran a host of man-to-man on first down, but that time they came with the 3-deep zone. The corner was trying to jump the inside route. He recognized it, put it on the shoulder away from the closest defender to get that completion.
2nd down and 4. And fighting for the first down is R.J. Harris.
Too many men on the field. Toronto, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Did not matter. Too many men. Eric Stryker. Get off the field in time. Corey Chamberlain talking about this last couple of days. How secure is Corey Chamberlain's future with this Toronto Argonaut team, do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, he does have one more year left on his contract. So therefore, with the coach's cap that's now installed here across this league, they're going to have to make sure that they can tinker with that and still be able to go out and hire somebody else. Therefore, I think that might protect Corey, with his job here, due to the fact that he still has one more year on his deal.
A team that's 2-12, though, and Chamberlain taking over from Mark Tressman, a team that won the Grey Cup. Corey Chamberlain won a Grey Cup as a head coach in Saskatchewan, as a DC.
Don't bring back memories of that game. Oh, goodness.
Sorry about that.
I still feel John Chick hitting me in the chest talking about that game.
It happens. It happens. 2nd down and 8. Galanders, another screen here. Brendan Galanders having himself a game, brought down close to a first down. I guess where I'm going with that is, you don't become that coach overnight.
Right.
You don't in one season. You don't all of a sudden lose it. I mean, Corey Chamberlain's a quality man, quality coach. Rick Campbell, the same thing. You go through rough spots like this. But at the same time, with a regime change, I'm sure everybody's job is questioned at this point.
Well, there's going to be a meeting between him and Pinball Clemens, and they're going to have to factor in how are they going to move on from here, because they're absorbing a big number with his contract. They're going to find out if we're going to disperse him. Now you got to go out and hire an entire new crew. Do they keep him as head coach, or like you mentioned, do they make him the defensive coordinator? Looking at all the success that they've had here in Toronto and also in Saskatchewan with him.
Fake field goal attempt. Arndt goes over the top. Oh my! What a hit! Oh, there's a big collision and a flag on the play.
Threw it to Nigel Romick.
Nigel Romick, of all people, had the ball. Romick, special teams player. This is a lick. Oh. Chris Rainey, of all people, delivers that shot.
Now, Jonathan's got to find the free safety.
15-yard penalty against Toronto will result in a first down.
That hit, though, unnecessary roughness. It was definitely head hunting. How about Nigel Romick inserted on that play? It's something they've probably been experimenting with. He's a guy who's a D lineman, special teams player.
Well, this is the second gadget on special teams that they pulled out tonight, so they're pulling out all the stops, but as you can see, the head-to-head contact there, they're going to call that every time.
Every time it should be called. So the Red Blacks. And that's picked. And this, Toby Antiga with the pick. And the rumble down to the 40. And drawing a crowd in the Argos sideline. Back toss that time by Will Arndt. One he'd like to have back. And Toby Antiga almost went the distance. Man, that was a crazy couple of minutes here. Antiga with the pick. Agent Zero almost went the distance. Let's digest what we just saw. Nigel Romick almost decapitated by Chris Rainey, who will be lighter in the pocketbook after that shot. So the Red Blacks continue the drive, and then this pick, Toby Antiga, beautifully read. And so the Argos have the ball, and they've got a new regime in Toronto with more Matthew Shinetti.
Yes, Ron, I'm alongside newly minted Vice President of Player Personnel, John Murphy. John, congratulations.
Thanks.
We were listening to Mike Pinball Clemens talk about your relationship. How will that evolve in the months ahead?
Well, I think, it's two people who come from two very different experiences in football, but the one thing we now have in common is wanting this team to be successful. And I think that's something that allows you to build on your relationship because of what your end goal is.
Now, John, we know, and those inside the inner circles know how dedicated you are to this game and scouting and evaluating talent. How will you evaluate this team, coaching and players going forward?
Well, I think the first thing is to take the time over the coming weeks to go rewatch those 14 games and be able to ask some questions that maybe we weren't able to ask before. And now what we need to do is assert what's wrong, but more importantly, what we can do better moving forward.
And in terms of the trade deadline, which was really your first time that you had to be able to do something with the roster, you traded Zach Caleros. Take us through the reasoning and how that deal came about.
Well, I think, number one was evaluating that there are five quarterbacks that were on our roster, seeing what clubs were offering and what was available for any of them, evaluating that, and then making the best decision possible, both for the player and for ourselves. Have every expectation, if or when Zach gets a chance to play, that he'll play well for Winnipeg, but to add an asset like a third-round pick and then have the safety of a future first-round pick, which no one has acquired for a quarterback except for Vernon Adams, puts us in good position to improve our draft stock, but then also evaluate our own quarterbacks, everyone that'll be on the free agent market come February. And all it did is really delay our evaluation for 30, 60, or 90 days instead of having to try to make one in the next 48 hours after we had just gotten the positions.
Thanks, Chris, John.
Thanks, Matthew.
Thanks to John Murphy. James Wilder slipped but got the first down. Caught your breath yet after all of this?
I know, tell me about it.
Let's go back first of all to the hit. Chris Rainey, he's flying at the guy, and obvious penalty. Thankfully, Nigel Romick's all right. Not a well-thrown ball by Will Arndt.
No, you've got to see the free safety. In that case, it was the returner. And you're seeing Rainey in a position that he's not used to being in, being the tackler.
Yeah.
He's just throwing his body at a guy that's much bigger than him and hoping for the best. Unfortunately, he hit the guy in the head as well.
Bethel Thompson could read a newspaper right now. There still are newspapers.
There still are newspapers.
There's Rainey. And he might have got the worst of that, actually, that collision. He's going to the locker room. We'll try to get an update from Matthew. And that might affect their return game.
The guy who probably doesn't work tackle drills too often in practice. No. In a tackling situation.
Well, that was clear at that point. And, Nigel Romick, good that he's okay. Something they're trying to remove from the game, obviously. Head hits, helmet hits. Result in catastrophic consequences. Bethel Thompson now going deep. And to the end zone, and it was almost picked off.
There's a time to throw to give your receiver a chance to make a play, and there's a time to throw it away. McLeod, that was a time to throw it away. Give a fan a souvenir. Armani Edwards had no chance to make this play. He turned into a defensive back, broke it up for his quarterback, But that's the difference between when you can take the step to become one of the great quarterbacks or stay as an average quarterback, are decisions that you make during those times. An interception could take 3 points off the board. Thankfully, Armani Edwards broke it up.
And for the Argos, an opportunity to add another 3. Former Mac Marauder, Tyler Crapigna, puts it through. 27-10 the score on Friday Night Football, game 1 of our doubleheader. Stamps and Riders coming up after this. Now Team Canada looks to wrap up their 2019 Rugby World Cup campaign with a win against Namibia tomorrow night. Action at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, or on demand only on TSN and streaming tsn.ca, the TSN app, and TSN Direct. Rugby very popular. They got the Wolf Pack here, not too far from here in Toronto. You follow rugby at all? Did you ever play rugby?
I actually went to a Wolfpack game. Outstanding, and congratulations to them qualifying for the Super League by winning the finals.
Yes.
Looking forward to next season.
They run a end around here, and it's Arujo Lopes. So Will Arndt trying to have a very short memory. That's a key, too. After that last interception when they were in the score zone. Keenan Gilchrist is the Argo down on the field.
It's baptism under fire for Will Arndt tonight. He's got to find a way to work through these ups and downs. This is the life of a professional quarterback. Just like we talked to Danny McManus last week. The little general always taught him, if you ever throw an interception, don't come to that sideline with your head down. You better keep throwing it, son. Keep going out throwing strikes.
Danny Mac.
Danny Mac said, if I threw 5 interceptions, I better have thrown 6 touchdowns. And in some cases, he achieved victories from doing that.
Do you remember your first start?
Montreal. Yes.
There it is. Hey, look at you, old number 16. Look at you. Oh, my gosh.
I still remember Rod Smith and Matt Dunnigan made the call. But look at the host of players I had a chance to throw to. Travis Moore, Alan Pitts, Vince Danielson, Kelvin Anderson, Terry Vaughn.
Look at you.
All the Hall of Famers as a part of that. I know, I'm so much uglier now than I was then.
You haven't changed a lick. So, what do you remember most about that first game?
Oh, man.
Were you nervous? You
I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep the night for the game. I was tossing and turning. I probably had a couple hours of sleep. But you know what? After I ran the ball and took my first hit from SWAC, Alfred Payton hit me early on, and that settled me down. I was like, okay, now I know what it feels to get hit by a Hall of Fame defensive end. Now, hey, let's just go out and go to work.
And you did. And you did. Second down here for the Henry Burris wannabe, Will Arndt. You never know how a career could begin. Arndt, flush now, and brought down again. And Cleon Lang has another sack. And on country night at BMO Field, he's riding the horse.
Well, there's something about Cleon Lang when he plays the Ottawa REDBLACKS. He always gets pumped up playing for his former team that he won the Grey Cup with in 2016. Will Arndt, honestly, the pocket was still good. They showed his own defense. Nothing was open downfield. However, Brendan Galanders, his back was wide open for a check down. He's got to find a way to get the ball to his back instead of trying to get him flushed out when he has a great pocket.
Final 30 seconds off the side of the foot. Fortunately bouncing out of bounds. What a great hop for the Argos. So do you, a stupid question is, do you remember your last game? How could you forget?
Every time I walk in this building, I get chills here at BMO, and knowing what transpired that night against one of the greatest teams to ever be assembled in CFL history. You know, I still have such love for Calgary, and it was a shame I had to come down to playing against them in my final game. But the way it impacted the city of Ottawa, 40 years from the last time they won a championship, to be a part of bringing the Grey Cup back to the nation's capital is something we relive every day that I'm back home, the place I call home now in Ottawa, the 613.
Armani Edwards, where you became a morning show host and now a TSN announcer, big part of the community. Hockey dad. Canadian.
Yep. And that's coming soon. Yeah. That's coming soon.
But, you know, you think about all the moments that you've had in your career from your first win. I think of the win in 08, of course, for you, as well as a Stampeder. I think about you to Ellingson, which is, but honestly, Burris to Ernest Jackson will live forever in the minds of Ottawa REDBLACKS fans.
Oh, It was crazy. Ernest Jackson juggling Ottawa's hearts in his hands to the end zone that night. But, man, we brought the cup back. Grey Cup 104.
Fourth quarter coming up from BMO Field in a moment. Heading to the fourth, where the Argos, for only the fourth time this season, have a lead, 27-10 over the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Great to have Henry Burris in the booth with us, Red Black legend, a guy who knows a lot about quarterbacking in this game, quite obviously, and watching the trials and tribulations of McLeod Bethel Thompson and also Will Arndt tonight has been fascinating. And by the way, it's country night, and I thought, I give you the hat, the country hat to wear tonight.
Well, with the Grey Cup in Calgary, it's kind of fitting. You know, we've got the cowboy look going tonight.
How many cowboy hats did you wear when you were a Stampeder?
Actually, I still have a few of them. The two black Grey Cup hats that I wore, black hats, I still was white-hatted in the city of Calgary. I still keep those very near and dear to my heart. Calgary is considered my second home. It's a place I'm looking forward to going back for the Grey Cup this year. The fact is, what teams will be there this year? I'm looking forward to finding that out. It's going to be exciting.
Like you said, a couple of years ago, they weren't exactly fond of you for that one moment anyway. But that's sports, and that's one of the great things about this league. And like the guys in the studio, and Milt and Davis and Benny and all of our panelists and our commentators who have been lucky enough to play this game or been involved, I think often we forget about how great this country is and the different cultures we have, province to province, but with the same love of the Canadian game.
And there's so many people that love the game of football. It's impacted us from childhood up to seeing some of our friends and guys that we've followed their entire journey and careers make it professionally, and then the things that they do, how it impacts cities, how it impacts people, and changes their lives forever.
Bethel Thompson is sacked by Avery Ellis. And that time just hung on a little too long, was not afforded that time in the pocket.
And once again, I think he became a little gun shy here after throwing the interception earlier, or almost throwing the interception during the third quarter. Of course, Armani Edwards broke that up, but I think he was a little gun shy there. He learned from his mistake earlier, but still, as long as you get the ball past the line of scrimmage, they won't call grounding. So he's got to find a way to salvage that field position.
Bethel Thompson delivers. And you talked about Darrell Walker earlier in the game about, maybe kind of struggling a little bit here tonight. One thing about Darrell Walker, never sleep on him.
Never sleep on him. He is a fantasy beast. And you got inside coverage on a corner route, or a comeback in this case, but Dandridge kind of gave him easy access by playing so hard inside. When you got a guy like 87 who's threatening you with the deep route all the time, and you're already giving him that out-breaking route, it's just pitch and catch from McLeod Bethel Thompson, who's definitely in his zone.
Injured Red Black is Mike Wakefield, interior lineman. Looks like he's all right. Early in the fourth quarter here tonight. Don't forget, big game out west. Speaking of Calgary, the Stampeders and the Rough Riders coming up after this one. Battle for first place again in the West. Riders had a huge win over Winnipeg last week to take over first. Shaq Evans, is he the best?
Man, you saw Shaq Evans go off the way he did against Winnipeg, and then Brian Burnham came with
it was almost like he heard him.
It was like he heard him saying that. And then what were the BC Lions players saying after the magnificent catches Brian Burnham made in that game that ended off our triple hitter last Saturday? Man, like, these guys are worth the price of admission, some of these receivers. We even have one here tonight. I mean, we thought it was Darrell Walker who was going to put on the show, but with the 90 yards that S.J. Green needed, he's putting on the show tonight. It goes to show you some of the true playmakers rising to the occasion here late in the season when they definitely need it. When their teams need a big play, they're dialing those guys' numbers up, and definitely they'll need number one for Saskatchewan to make some plays against that great Calgary secondary.
Through the years, we're blessed so often to watch so many great athletes, receivers as quarterbacks in this game. S.J. Green, 10K club tonight. Bethel Thompson, will he target him? Over the top, it's picked off. Was looking towards him, but it is picked, and the Red Blacks take this away. DeAndre Ferris Kevin Brown in on this play. And it's Brown with the pick. And the drive is extinguished.
Well, McLeod Bethel-Thompson was on a roll on that drive, guiding his team down inside the 20. But unfortunately, you can't eye up your receiver. Kevin Brown runs the route for S.J. Green, knowing that they're trying to get the ball to 1-9 on this heater. Look at his eyes. He's staring right at S.J. Green the entire time. If you're looking somewhere, the defense knows you're looking there, and you get a savvy veteran like Kevin Brown, the Bearcat himself, jumps, runs the route himself, gets a big interception for the Red Blacks. Now they have the ball and a chance to get closer in this game.
Like I never left. Hey, it's only been a couple minutes.
Kevin Brown replacing Avery Williams. Spot. Brown, the former Cincinnati Bearcat. He's had a couple of big plays with his strip earlier in the ball game. And the fumble by Declan Cross, and now a pick. Big night for him.
Well, that's what Kevin Brown brings to the table. He's a playmaker. He makes plays for this defense. He's caused 2 turnovers tonight to try to keep this offense within shooting distance. Of course, they're down by multiple scores, but at least now they have an opportunity here in the fourth quarter to draw back closer. So he's already drawn first blood here in the fourth quarter. Let's see if the offense can continue this momentum.
Red Blacks need to score. Arts in trouble. Wrapped up and ripped down. Another sack from the Toronto Argonauts. Abdul Kana.
I know this is against the Red Blacks, and it's hard for me to see a number of different former Red Blacks making plays against the old team we used to play together.
By the way, that guy made a big play in that Grey Cup game for you, down at this end of the field.
Abdul Kana evading the block by Greg Morris there, finding a way to get to the quarterback and get a big sack to cause the punt and put their offense in potentially great field position in plus territory.
Leone needs a big kick, and he got one. And Chris Rainey's been nicked up. Curly Gittins corralled and out of bounds in a 27-10 game.
Back in the Game, the new album from Chad Brownlee. Listen now on Apple Music.
Well, Abdul Kana with the sack for the Argos, 3 of them tonight. Stats are pretty even on both sides. Offensively, though, McLeod Bethel-Thompson has racked up a lot of real estate tonight. The one blemish, that pick by Kevin Brown. And James Wilder romps, bulldozes for a first down. Starting to eat tonight. A season where he's been a little hungry in many ways.
He definitely has been. He's having well over 6 yards per carry tonight. And if they're getting this type of positive gain on first down by running the ball, why stop? I mean, right now they're getting great push up front for the front 5 and pushing the Ottawa front defensive 7 back into the secondary, honestly.
This time he reverses field and he's going to lose yardage. There was nowhere to roam. It's time for the son of former Buccaneer great, James Wilder. Latanzio and company.
They take pride in making sure you can't run the ball consistently against them, and for them to be able to come back and put the Argos in a 2nd and long situation. Let's see if they dial up some zone here to try to get a turnover.
Bethel-Thompson, pocket squeeze, down he goes again. And the aforementioned Ottawa GG, Latanzio with the sack.
Well, 2nd and long here tonight has caused defenses to run some zone defense, which causes the quarterback to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. And therefore, for the defensive line, you pin your ears back, and it's a tee-off party where the quarterback is located. Both defenses are doing a great job of getting sacks tonight. Ettore Latanzio, the Italian stallion, with the big sack.
Rougeau Lopes lost it, touched it. It's Argo football. Dakota Prukop downfield was able to slide in The third-string quarterback playing on specials, and it looked like Araujo Lopes had touched that football, which meant it was a live ball, and everybody was within or outside that 5-yard halo. If it's no yards, however, then it still is Ottawa football. Question is, was it no yards? Araujo Lopes unhappy with himself. We'll settle this when we come back. No yards, or was it muffed? We'll find out. All right, here is where Araujo Lopes first laid a finger on the football. Again, you have to give 5 yards. So here is the amount of yardage. You have to be outside of 5 yards if you're a defender, special teams. That 5-yard rule, part of the CFL. Halo, otherwise it's no yards. So that's pretty close, Hank.
Yeah, the ball was touched on the 15.
So the field stands. Toronto will be charged a timeout, and they're out of challenge.
So that was a costly challenge. Corey Chamberlain and the Argos. Well, right now they've got a comfortable 17-point lead.
Yeah, with the ball being on the 15, he was comfortably inside that 5-yard range, about the 18-yard line. So they got the no yards penalty there. Let's see if the Red Blacks can put together a drive here, get some consistent plays going, get some good completions for the young kid, Will Arndt, get him back in rhythm.
It'll be very interesting to watch this fourth quarter develop as Arndt goes over the top to Sinopoli, because a common trend, the common denominator for both of these teams this year, they haven't been able to finish.
Yeah, four quarters have been like the boogeyman to this team. I mean, they've been something that you don't want to see, and when you finally see it, you want no part of it. But it's a good start there. He saw 3 deep coverage with 3 deep routes that they called up. He was able to get it to his underneath to Marco Dubois, and now a little quarterback sneak on 2nd and 1, moves the chains. So a good start to this drive. This is a big drive. If they want to have a chance to make up this deficit, they have to score on this drive, because they're now by multiple scoring opportunities, and the clock is still ticking. That's their biggest enemy now.
Their faint pulse is still beating. They need to win. And win out the rest of the season and hope that Edmonton loses out. Long order and a nice catch from R.J. Harris on a perfectly thrown football. Leading toss from Will Arndt.
Well, that play's called Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Exactly the same play that McLeod Bethel Thompson threw S.J. Green, which was picked off by Kevin Brown. But great throw, getting it up and over Jermaine Gabriel right into R.J. Harris. Look at that throw right there. No chance for Gabriel to even attempt to pick that off. That's what you call great anticipation, a great throw, recognizing the zone coverage, but also throwing a nice strike, knowing where to put it.
Another injury here with 8.5 to go in the fourth. Loads of time. 17 points may seem insurmountable. Not in the Canadian Football League, not with this amount of time left. Newcomer Opara being attended to will step aside and come back. Great having you here tonight.
Das is good.
Yeah, but you played in Germany.
Yes, I did. NFL Europe, played for the Berlin Thunder. One of the most fabulous experiences I've ever been through, being able to play football. This game truly has shown me the world.
Will Arndt, another drop by the Juice. Greg Morris. Well, this has been a fascinating year to cover some of the global players who have played in the German leagues. Some have had a chance to play both in the world leagues, I guess you could call it, the global players, and also the Mexican players who have been here this year. Been a real interesting breakthrough.
Yeah, there's so many guys, from all around the world. This, as Commissioner Ambrosi has mentioned, in fact, this is an inclusive game. And now everybody has the opportunity to play the game that they love from around the globe. Opportunities are here for you in the CFL.
Caleb Hawley, that's his first catch, his first target tonight on 2nd down. It's 3rd down. Bringing the heavies in here. They're going to go for it on 3rd and 1 from the 46. Did you have a good experience in Germany?
Oh, it was outstanding. The doner kebabs, the Vienna schnitzel.
Oh, yeah.
So many great items I was able to try, especially the food. The people were outstanding.
beer.
That was very good.
Just saying. There's Morris. And a first down. Frank Morris was licking his lips before tonight, a guy who grew up in the Whitby area, just east of Toronto. Donald Wilson secondary, and then played junior football, the West Coast, Eskimo, Rider, Argo. Now a Red Black getting his chance. First down, Will Arndt, pump and go down the rail, and had a chance to get Dominic Rhymes. Overthrow.
I love the job of Will Arndt on this play. I was expecting a little umph or something, from Dominic Rhymes there, because the quarterback gave him a chance to go out and make a play. I love how he pumped inside to make the halfback hesitate just a slight bit, but you got to sell out a little bit more, Dominic Rhymes. You look at the defender, expecting to be hit instead of going to make the play for your quarterback. This is what I talk about. The skills have got to help out their quarterback.
Alden Darby almost had the interception, and he's coming up and grabbing at that back of the leg, and you just hope that's not an Achilles injury of some sort. Alden Darby had the ball in his mitts, and he's going to limp off. We'll try to get an update from Matthew Shinetti. That did not look good, but nor did this throw. To see that right away, and we're not doctors by any stretch, but you see that injury enough. You just hope it's not an Achilles injury.
Yes, you see him break. He does a great job of breaking on it, reading, but it's unfortunate because you feel an injury like that occur while you're trying to get the interception, and your mind goes elsewhere.
And Lewis Ward, who could not miss the last couple of years, has missed here. And Curly Gittins is thinking about taking it out. Probably should just go down, and he does. And the can't miss kid from last year just missed and has been human this year, as has his team, the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Alden Darby, who also was banged up on this tackle earlier, and a little bit of a leg whip there and right there on the back of his ankle, and maybe it is an ankle injury of some sort. He was grabbing it there and then this, so maybe it's some sort of a sprain. We'll have to see.
Yeah, you don't want anything worse than that to happen, especially an Achilles or anything. We've seen that happen a number of times.
Might be the back of the ankle. 6 minutes to go. McLeod Bethel Thompson trying to protect this football and this lead. Wilder. He is stopped near the line of scrimmage. Grass in the helmet, something you don't see in any other stadium in the Canadian Football League, except here.
Looked like they had a great screen developing. Just his relationship with the offensive guard getting out the block was a little bit too close. When he turned around, he was already on his back. He couldn't cut. Before then, the REDBLACKS had recovered to make the tackle.
2nd and 10. Bethel Thompson slinging, catching it up near the 52-yard line is SJ. Flagged down right as Bethel Thompson threw the ball, and was that a roughing call? Bethel Thompson taking a shot downfield and taking a shot as he delivered.
Roughing the passer, Ottawa number 92.
Now here's George Uko, who gets in to get the sack. Unfortunately, the ball's been released. You can't hit the quarterback and drive him into the ground, plus throw your body weight. But Jamal Campbell, one of the York Lions, I love it, how he comes in and protects his quarterback, stands over the young man and says, "Keep your hands off my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback. I'm going to protect him." You can't throw your body weight on a quarterback. Everybody knows about the rule, but I love seeing the offensive linemen protecting their quarterback, standing up for him.
You had a few guys do that for you through the years.
Oh, yes. That's why I took those boys out.
A lot of dinners.
Suds and buds and lots of food.
Bethel Thompson threads the needle. SJ lost his lid. And may have taken a shot in that head area. Looks like he's going to go to the sideline. Or is he? Nothing takes SJ Green out of the game, but back of his helmet. And SJ's taking a knee, and I'm sure he's going to go through some protocol here. Taking him out after that head whipped back. The eye in the sky. Safety reasons. His neck whipped back violently. Yeah, as we've come to learn about concussion and concussion protocol, often it is whiplash, sloshing effect.
And I know his helmet, he lost his helmet as well. Looked like the chin strap, something happened to that also. But again, they're going to be on the side of precaution.
As they should. As they should,
because it's all about the well-being of the player, not the fact that you're getting out there trying to make more plays. Hey, the other teammates got to step it up in this case.
Under 5 to play. Argo's well in command. 4-man rush here for the Red Blacks. Ethel Thompson swinging it out to Rodney Smith, and shoestring tackle out there from Sherrod Baltimore.
Fabulous job by Sherrod Baltimore, keeping outside contained, knowing Rodney Smith was trying to get outside to make some more yards after the catch, but he stayed patient, allowed the wide receiver to come back to him, made a big tackle to now set up a punt.
And Sherrod sharing his story, the real-life story, how he escaped from poverty to become a professional football player. It's on tsn.ca. Called Only the Strong Survived. Peffer hasn't had to punt much tonight. This ball will bounce back, and Rougeau Lopes gives up the Rouge. It's at 28-11. Time ticking away. Not too far away from this. Christmas game. Rough Riders and Stamps. Red and green in McMahon. Just kicking off, as a matter of fact.
I can already hear the pads cracking from that game. A battle for first place. Cody Fajardo. Can they overcome the demons of the horse? Because the horse quick six is ready to ride with Bo Levi in the gang. To me, that's their nemesis. Can they beat Calgary? To me, that's the biggest hurdle for the Riders. If they can get that done, look out, everybody.
And look out as well tomorrow. The Bombers have Montreal in a rematch of that game that they blew a couple of weeks ago against the Alouettes. The Bombers need to get going. Arndt is in trouble again. Almost pretzeled in the backfield. Bishop rides that horse tonight on Country Night, setting up second and long. It's Freddie Bishop III with the sack.
Yeah, Freddie Bishop III adding to his 4 sacks that he came into the game with. This is more of a covered sack. He had nowhere to go with the ball. Looked like he was trying to make a play with his feet. Will Arndt, that is. Great job by collapsing the pocket by the 2 defensive ends and getting the big sack. Put them in a second and very long situation. And again, in the first half, Ottawa was 25% on second and long. There's not too many plays, Rod, in the playbook for second and very long like this.
3:29, getting close to that 3-minute warning. Red Blacks have any chance here. It has to come. Pinball Wizard saluting Michael Clemens and general manager, the Argos. It's Pinball's machine now here in Toronto. Has to pull them together. Arndt whistles one to Sinopoli. First down on second and long. Still hope.
Well, if there's a play you can call, that was a great play to dial up there, getting a nice first down to Brad Sinopoli. But hey, when you talk about the two-headed monster now here in Toronto, when it comes to those 2 young men, they're going to get this thing turned around. Pinball Clemens mentioned it's going to take time. They're going to find a talent, but now this organization is going to be a place where people want to come.
That's the thing, putting people in the stands here at BMO Field. What a great experience it is here. They just need a better football team. They're leading tonight. They look good. 3-minute warning.
You can't be holding! Tell him he can't be holding! Hey, we the best in the West! Y'all gotta come to us now!
This is your last year playing football. I'm glad that you're having a good time. Nobody's gonna want to, bruh. I'm sorry.
Duron Carter always chirping. CFL Wired, Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Mics are up around the league. Good sounds here tonight as Arndt drops it into R.J. Harris, who had a touchdown earlier, the lone touchdown, and now we've got a scrap. And here are two bottom feeders in the East going at it. Frustration, and Cleon Lang is into it right now, big time, and look at this. We have got a major melee, something you don't see very often.
This reminds me of training camp.
This is full on, and they're still swinging here. Somebody's got to get Cleon Lang out, and you throw a fist, and you connect, you're out of this ball game. There are going to be ejections after this. As Lang was into it big time, like Mark Cordy.
Well, when you're playing against your former team, especially when it comes to Cleon Lang's case, you know there's going to be some bad blood out here. And you got Alex Mateus, Evan Johnson, and a number of the guys sitting here getting after each other. Justin Thomas. Lots of pushing going on. And when you get the big boys and the blood starts boiling, this is what it leads to. It reminds me of training camp. You get tired of each other. You just can't stand one another.
And they can't hurt each other. They got equipment on it, but you got to pull the grill. You know, you pull the bird cage and yanking each other, and you have to think that might be some early nights here, early showers for a couple of players. 2:47 to go. Just waiting to hear from the eye in the sky and the perpetrators. We know what the main event was. It was Cordy and Cleon Lang at the end.
Yeah, it looked like a couple of punches were thrown in the meanwhile also.
Did you get a sense that was like a season-long frustration bout right there?
That's some pent-up energy and aggression that they've been looking forward to getting rid of for a long time.
Just anger. And here are the calls. Likely a wash penalty-wise.
There are 3 fouls on the play. Major foul, Ottawa number 65. Major foul, Toronto number 90. Major foul, disqualification, Toronto number 42. From the end of the play, we're going to go 25 yards and a first down for Ottawa.
So the ejection was Toronto. Cordy and Lang will stay in. That was a wash, their bout. But it was Justin Thomas who came in, kind of the third man in as well. And he is disqualified. And will get an escort to the locker room. And a 25-yard penalty, and REDBLACKS still clinging to some life.
Turned into an MMA melee there, or a WWE SummerSlam happened there for us. But you can't throw any punches, though.
Here's what happened. Again, these guys were
by rules, the ball cannot
be
placed further than the 15-yard line.
Suspensions or fines.
There goes the punch.
There is that haymaker. That's why Justin Thomas is warming up the shower.
Yeah. He's going in there and get things ready for Cleon Lang and all the vets. But you can't do that. There's no place in that in football.
So now Will Arndt. Morris can't hang on. A little too much pepper on that screen.
That's unfortunate. That's 3 passes that they failed to hook up on between Arndt and Morris. It's a tough throw. You got it. That's what we call a KYP scenario. Know your personnel. You got to throw the ball differently to running backs than you do. And I'm not saying running backs can't catch. Just don't make it difficult for them. Just put it where they can catch it, make it easy catch it, get upfield with the ball.
2nd and 10, going end zone. Oh, it's caught by Dominic Rhymes for a touchdown. Tiptoe into the end zone. Dominic Rhymes with his 4th major of the season, and the REDBLACKS hanging in here.
He went back to the well on the drive beforehand. Just missed him on that go route where he was peeking inside, where he saw the defensive back coming to try to break it up. In that case, no defensive back to help out. A nice play.
Lewis Ward point after, so making it interesting. Still a 2-possession game with 2:38. There's the difference between the game north of the border and the game of south, but at this point you'd be playing it out, but you got a short kick here and a couple of possessions, you still could pull this out. You never know.
Yeah,
we've seen crazier stuff, by the way.
Well, that's a great job by the quarterback, still believing in his wide receiver, even though they didn't connect earlier on. He went right back to the well one more time, and they both delivered. And this was great fashion for Dominic Rhymes, who now he just went over 1,000 yards for the first time in his young CFL career. To me, he has lots of upside. To me, the sky's the limit for this young man. He's tall, he's got great speed, he's got great route running ability, but also a great work ethic.
He's got great pedigree, too.
Yes, he does.
Oh, Buster
Rhymes.
Who, by the way, was the inspiration for Busto Rhymes, the rapper. Bust because he liked Minnesota Vikings at the time. Busto Rhymes, and Buster, who played in the 1988 Grey Cup. Matter of fact, with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So Dominic Rhymes has made it interesting. So now this is key. Remember the last time they had the onside kick or the short kick? It was Richie Leone who kicked it. They're going to use Lewis Ward, likely to put this in the air. Or will he?
You never know.
2 to the right and a bunch to the left. He does put it in the air, up for grabs. And it's dropped! It's dropped! It's Ottawa football! What did I just say? This league is crazy.
This is crazy.
I love
this is crazy
that no lead is safe, and that ball, usually with a hands team out, has to be caught by the Argos. There is a flag down, and the Ottawa REDBLACKS are still
illegal
breathing.
Participation. Ottawa number 47. He went out of bounds on his own and came back in and recovered the football. This is a 10-yard penalty.
Okay, never mind.
Oh,
well, let's see.
This is such a heartbreaker.
Well, and Nigel Romick was pushed out of bounds and then came back in.
That's such a heartbreaker. Perfectly executed. Darrell Walker.
After review by the command center, number 47 was pushed out of bounds and came back in, which he's allowed to. There is no infraction on the play.
He was pushed out of bounds.
So never mind on the never mind. So now, game on again.
Game on again. Well, Andre and the crew got it right, because if you are pushed, you're allowed to come back in. You just can't run outside to avoid the block.
So you talked about the night Darrell Walker has had. The struggles continue. That is a guy who's got all state hands on the hands team and could not hang on. So suddenly, 10 points. Ask the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Montreal Alouettes about this kind of lead and this time range. Anything is possible right now.
Hey, this is the CFL. We're inside of 3 minutes. The clock stops after each play. Anything can happen, like you mentioned, especially with the field position they have right here. They've got to get 7 points on the board here to draw this inside of a one-score game, because they do have a great kicker who can put it through the uprights, and that's all they need right now.
Got to use the clock wisely, though. So the thing is, you can, if your drive stalls, you can still get your 3 here and then hope to get that touchdown later. But I guess the MO is get to the end zone first.
Get to the end zone. And they just did a muddle huddle there to keep things moving faster. They've got to go no huddle. This is where it might bite them, the inexperience of Will Arndt in this situation.
Arndt now taking off, spinning now. Will Arndt flag down. It'll be a hold back near the 41. It's going to bring the ball back, and clock ticks to 2:04 remaining. Man, this game a lot different than the first time these teams met. Argos hammered
65 for
Ottawa
holding.
back
This is a 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
Early parts of the season, 40-17. They'll meet again. Kind of inconsequential games. You know, you're playing for pride. You want to be the last place team, although the last place team gets the #1 pick. Still, in the draft, you want to be last.
You don't want to be last.
The Landers. Crashes near the far side. 1:58 remains. And the Stamps and the Rough Riders have begun at McMahon Stadium. A game that means a little bit more in the standings.
That's going to be a big game. McMahon's going to be rocking. And now the stands and everything are up, so the Grey Cup atmosphere is on.
Oh, yeah.
And you know when the Green Riders come to town, what type of game that's going to be. It's going to be a great one.
Will Arndt scrambling now. Peters up early in McMahon. Humble recovery on a kick return with an early lead. How that plays out. The Stamps with a win would into a tie for first in the West. Winnipeg trying to keep pace tomorrow. So now, going back to what we talked about, this is a must-make now for Lewis Ward, who missed earlier, remember. This one is straight through, so possibilities still exist. One possession game, the Red Blacks have scratched back.
This was a great hold. Richie Leone and Lewis Ward, they spent all the time in the world together. That was a nice smooth kick, way to bounce back from the miss earlier. Now that looks like the Lewis Ward that we know.
Remarkable record. To hang on for a long time, consecutive field goals made.
And we've talked about some of the stories from Will Arndt to a number of different guys, S.J. Green, and you know everybody remembers Lewis Ward's story about being a kid, being a security guard. Yeah. I remember him walking around TD Place. Hey, young man, how are you? Next thing you know, he's setting records for the Red Blacks. So I'm like, you're that same kid who was the security guard protecting us, but you're a kicker. How are you going to protect me? You're a kicker.
And he had the record, broke the record, consecutive field goals made, and you know what? And people could say, you know, again, the Red Blacks last couple of years, particularly last year during the record streak, a lot of drives that they just couldn't finish, and Lewis Ward had to finish. But he had a lot of big kicks, a lot of long kicks, a lot of big kicks, and that record could stand up for quite some time. It has been another crazy story of what you can believe in. And so now Lewis Ward's on the sideline. So last time Ward kicked on the onside kick. So now the twin kickers, they got Richie Leone. He's the tall guy. Remember, he squibbed one earlier to start the half.
Look for a middle dribble here, possibly. Middle dribble.
And he's going to kick it deep instead. And with 1:45, that's probably the idea. You can get the ball back. You don't need the onside kick as Gittins brings it up. Well, with still time to play, we're still going to hand out our Nissan Titan Player of the Game, win or lose. It goes to this guy.
10 catches, 170 yards. You know what? If you were to ask me who would have done that, I would have been like S.J. Green.
Yeah.
Look at him. Over 10,000 yards, joining the other 17 CFL wide receivers that have been able to surpass that mark. Congratulations to the future Hall of Famer, S.J. Green, going over 10,000.
S.J., 700 catches too, and that's a big first down, or close to it, eating up the clock. They get the first down here, and then Ottawa has got to stop. And remember, they lost a challenge earlier.
Timeout, Ottawa.
Well, they're using up their timeout, 2nd and 1. If they're able to move the chains here, it's putting them in a tough position because first off, you wanted to get a 2 and out, get them to punt. It gives you good field position, gives you an opportunity to march it back down the field with plenty of time on the clock to possibly get a major and either send this game into overtime or possibly go for 2 and go for the win. Who knows?
Second down and 1. Trying to rip that ball out as well. They can't. Now 1:28. First down. Argos get one more first down, and they could pretty much put this one in the books. Ready for next week. Toronto goes to Montreal. Ottawa goes to Hamilton. Much more significant games for the opposition. Ticats own first in the East. Close to clinching that. Montreal on a huge bounce-back season. Playing Winnipeg tomorrow. Well, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Randall Evans the hit, and now the biggest play of the game coming up. Coming up right after this, we'll join all the networks. Riders and Stamps from McMahon. 10-1 Calgary at the moment. This one not quite done. Minute left. Ottawa hold here. They get the ball back, and then
it's going to get interesting.
Will Arndt has a chance to bring his team back into scoring position, take it to overtime maybe. They're going to draw this, and not sure about that play call, using up the clock, but 37 to go. They were using up that play clock and game clock. So now, third down.
This is going to allow them to run another 20 seconds off this clock, get it down to just under 20. Really going to put the Red Blacks in a bind here to have any chance to try to score.
And maybe it will be up to Rafael Araujo-Lopes, the newcomer, the Pitt Panther. Speed demon in his college days. Ronnie Peffer. Try to angle it to the left side. Marshall has an interception, pick 6 for Saskatchewan now in that game. And McMahon, Riders climb back.
Timer, please reset the clock to read 18 seconds, please.
18 seconds. Depends on what Araujo-Lopes does. If he doesn't have a lot of room, best that he goes down. Set up a Hail Mary. They only have one play.
Yeah, give him a chance to throw a couple of balls downfield. I got to tip my hat off to McLeod Bethel-Thompson. We just showed him there. In the 2 games against Ottawa, 711 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. I think he loves seeing the Red Blacks on the schedule.
Yeah, he'll see them again October 26th. Red Black killer. But this is not quite done. Peffer is going to put it down the middle. Araujo-Lopes trying to shoot the gap. And down he goes. So maybe time for one play. Now, Hank, you're used to those miracles. There's no Greg Ellingson out there. Do you hook and ladder, do you think? Do you go Hail Mary?
You know what, with 9 seconds, they can take a shot for a jump ball, maybe put Dominic Grimes to the field on a shorter defender, maybe Covington.
Maybe get a penalty.
Get a penalty, throw it up. Give yourself 2 shots to take deep throws. But that's what I would do right now. Take a deep shot into the boundary, gives the halfback an easier chance to help out here with the boundary corner.
And that's it. And what a game for Toby Antiga. Coming in for Bear Woods, a middle linebacker. That will seal it. Tough one for Will Arndt to finish. Had some positive moments. Stuff that he can certainly take to next week and stuff that he will learn from, and this is one of them.
Yeah, for the young kid, it's a tough way to end the game. He had some high moments and some low moments, and just to finish on that note definitely leaves a sour taste in his mouth. But again, this is part of the maturation process of becoming a good quarterback. And again, guys around him got to help make his job that much easier, and he's got to learn from the bad decisions that he's made tonight.
So the Toronto Argonauts end a 3-game losing skid. The Ottawa Red Blacks are spinning again. Lost 8 in a row. 2 teams now 3-12. Hank, great having you here tonight. What did you think of the night?
Had a great time, Rod. I'm honored to be standing in the same booth with you. I've learned so much from you. But you know what? I'm looking forward to even more great CFL action. I got to hurry up and get to the airport because I got to watch the game that's going on right now, Calgary, Saskatchewan. So enjoy the rest of the games this weekend.
Final score here tonight, the Argos hang on to win 28-21. Two teams that have struggled this year, but they put on a pretty good show. McLeod Bethel Thompson on S.J. Green night. 10K, 700 catches. Good on him. Future Hall of Famer. That's it from Toronto. Good night, everybody. Here's Rod Smith and the boys in the studio.
Thank you, Rod.